Hi folks, and welcome back to the plot. Another really peaceful morning, although very overcast and it could rain any moment. There's a few jobs I want to do today, and the first you can see behind me is these peas, which should be a simple job. The whole idea about growing them in the gutter is that they should just slip on right out into their final position, but to be honest, their final position isn't quite ready. Yeah, it looks a bit rubbish, doesn't it? Look at all the way this is all sagging. This netting is quite handy for the peas and they should climb up it quite nice. But they need to go in here on this side because this side is basically the path and it's kind of been mulched right up to there. Or did that get blown? Maybe I could scrape it back. Either way, I need to do a bit of fiddling around trying to sort this out so it's a bit more stable. There's some old canes that were kind of holding it in place. I think I basically need to take that all out and kind of start from scratch. So wish me luck. I don't know why, to be honest, I mulched all the way up to this side. There must have been a reason. Oh, it's because of the metal bars coming. Oh, no. I don't know. Either way, I've mulched up to, where did I? Oh, maybe the idea was, I think what happened is after I laid this wood chip, it got really, really windy. And yeah, I did lay a mixture of manure and chippings on there. I think basically the manure is directly under this, but let's get these canes out and kind of go from there. I think this is going to be one of those annoying fiddly jobs that almost definitely isn't going to go right. I should probably invest in something a little bit better. My skills when it comes to building plant supports, pretty lacking. I don't generally go vertical because I find it fiddly and annoying, and a lot of the structures you can buy, there's some really nice kind of pea netting or that kind of thing, but it's really expensive. So I prefer the idea of making homemade things, but I actually really don't like making homemade things. Oh, see, this cane has got a little spur on it, so it's completely caught up. Okay, canes are out, which means it should be relatively free and I can, oh God, no. See, there's all this wood chip tangled in it. There's all of this, big old clumps of weeds tangled into the netting. I've got it kind of okay up here, but as I go along, it's got to the point where I have absolutely no idea what is going on here. I think what looks like one piece of netting is maybe not. Why is there such a massive gap here? What is going on? And this is tied in at the corner. I don't understand this at all. I'm not sure if this is me doing it wrong when I first set it up or if it's kind of broken throughout the course of the season. It could be probably both. That kind of goes up there. I think this is all just excess. You know, I might just cut this off. It's not doing anything. I think, yeah, all of this was just tied up in the middle and completely unnecessary. And if I cut it, I might actually be able to find use for it somewhere else. Good rule of thumb, if you don't trust yourself with knives and sharp things, always make sure cut away from your body or away from your face. It's actually quite tough netting. I think now it's actually cut to size. That looks pretty good. The one main issue, I guess, is that it's kind of sitting quite high. I'll probably just weigh it down. We just use a brick, to be honest, until the peas start climbing on it and weighing it down. And I'm not going to tie it in just yet. I'm going to get the peas out and then make sure that this is all the right size. From what I remember, the gutter fits this exactly, so fingers crossed. Now, I watered these peas quite heavily yesterday and just realised maybe I shouldn't have, because now this is very heavy and a little more precarious. Okay. Oh, they do look good though, don't they? It's looking pretty much like a perfect fit. If anything, I could do with a few more. A lot of the ones towards the end did dry out and die, actually. I think what I want to do is have it on that side, because that's where the bed is. And the next bit, this was actually relatively easy, I suppose. The next bit is trying to actually dig out a trench for these peas. Should be easy. I bet it's not. Although I just said that and I've realised I did put manure in the right place and this is just raising up quite easily. Unfortunately, I'm taking some of the cardboard with it. I probably want to leave that at the bottom of the pea trench. But yeah, not too bad. Loads and loads of worms in here, looking much healthier than last year. I wasn't sure that was going to be deep enough, but you know, I think it might be actually. It's already, in theory, it should just slip right out. What I generally find is if you try and push from the back, it just all kind of, you know, it doesn't move as one. So I don't really know. I think what you want to do is loosen it at the front and get it to start running away. Ah, there we go. There we go. Oh, yes. Oh my God, it's actually working. Where all the roots have knitted together. Oh, look. Once you got the rhythm of it. Oh, it's working. Oh my days. Yes, look at that. You can maybe see on this side that I was a little bit lazy with the trench, but what I'm going to do is just make sure that that is filled up and kind of built up on this side and the other side, and I think they should be okay. Give them a really good water in, and I don't think we'll have any issues. And the nice thing is there's lots of manure here that's weed free, so weeding around these when you've got the netting and that is always a bit difficult. Oh, look at that. Some really nice worm populations. Returning to my beds now that they're all well manured and they've had lots of organic matter added. I just want to now give them a gentle water in, and then need to remember to weigh down the netting so that they don't get blown around by the netting too much and buffeted. Now hopefully these will do as well as the ones that I planted straight into the ground from modules, because they are doing quite nicely, I think. One comment I got that I really liked the idea of was building an angled pea frame so that as the peas set pods, they kind of dangle away and through the netting and they're really easy to harvest. But alas, I've not done that this year. Maybe next year, you know, we continue to iterate, and I think this is a better pea setup than last year too, so fingers crossed. Oh, the weather has changed dramatically. It's turned into an absolutely gorgeous blue sky day, but it's very warm. I should have been wearing shorts. The next job I want to get done, nice and simple one, but the grass is getting a little bit long and it needs a good haircut. There's so many dandelions at the moment. And I love a dandelion, really good for bumblebees and that kind of early pollinator rush that you get, but I've got to keep on top of the grass paths. I like to leave space for nature and for pollinators, and you know I'm doing that with the meadow, but look at this. This is pathetic, isn't it? You can't be doing with this, so I'm going to give the plot a good mow, then I'm going to tackle this a little bit, do something with this old retired strawberry bed. Just about to start the mower, but I thought I'd just mention, obviously before you start mowing, generally you go around and have a little tidy, and what I've been doing as well is weeding any bindweed that I find, because dandelions and seeds I'm pretty chill about ending up in the compost. You know, if they germinate in your compost once you put it on your beds, so be it. You've got a few weeds, but bindweed I absolutely do not want spreading, and there's quite a lot of it on the new plot, so I've just been going around picking up as much of that as I can, making sure it doesn't get chopped up, ending up in the compost. I think people do say that if you compost bindweed properly at good temperatures, it does kill it off, but I do not trust my compost. Oh, it looks so much better already, but in this heat it is very, very warm and quite trying mowing the whole thing. I've always said I quite like mowing, and you know, I like the grass paths, and that is still true, but now that I have the second plot to mow as well, it's not even the heat of summer at the moment, but doing both of these, oh, it kind of gets old quite quick. And because I've got a lot of bindweed on this plot, even though I went around and looked for it first time, I kept having to stop and start and look at more bits, and I'm just going to show you some of the bindweed now. I'm very, very tired. It's the little spears like this that you get, and there are absolutely loads of them on certain parts of the new plot. Now thankfully it could be much worse, but it's mostly around this side with this kind of vacant neighbour. I think it's kind of coming from their plot. I can see a few bits of really quite mature stuff. Oh, look at this down here. See where I've missed it with the mower. I've stopped mowing, and you know, if you look next door, you can see there's some big mature stuff, and basically it's all in this path. It's kind of mixed in, little bits of it that I've been having to avoid with the mower. I should really sort this out. It's quite bad, isn't it? But basically, yeah, just generally having to mow this new plot, it's reminded me just how much work there still is to do. There's so many kind of uneven bits I couldn't get into with the mower, sort of this central path down here. There's still a lot of work converting this new plot ahead of me. We'll get there, but it does definitely slow things down with the mower, so not ideal. The next thing, there is one more thing I want to do. I'm not feeling that strong, not feeling that up to it. And that is the strawberry bed. You can see I've moved the wheelie bin, I've dumped that somewhere, and there's a bit of work to do here. This is quite negligent of me. That is like a pile of weeds that I need to dig up, because that's where I put all the bindweed and stuff like that I found when I was doing the foundation for the base. And yeah, this strawberry bed, I'm going to try and it really has exploded over the past few days. I'm going to try and salvage a few of the strawberries, but mostly I think I'm just going to cover this for now and do something with it later, get some weed matting or membrane out or something like that. But I just want to tidy it up because soon it's going to start shading the greenhouse. Now, is it just me, or is there something about strawberry plants and grass? Like, the way that strawberry plants' roots will get entangled with grass roots is like, it's like no other kind of two things that I can think of. There just seems to be something about strawberries. I found it was the exact same when I was digging up all the strawberries on the new plot as well. The grass roots seem to just concentrate around those strawberry plants. And I'm genuinely wondering if there's some kind of like biological relationship or something there. I might just be one of those things where it feels that way to a gardener because they have to separate them. Well, I don't know, has anyone else thought that? That is always why you see, well, I think that might be one of the reasons why you always see strawberry beds in particular are the ones with all the weed suppressant membrane and the holes cut out. But oh yeah, this is hard work. Everything today has been, well, I thought the peas actually went slightly easier, but the mowing I definitely was expecting to be a nice light exercise that turned into a bit of a mission actually. And this is kind of the same, but I'm going to carry on. And for now, I'll just say thank you ever so much for watching. And an extra special thank you to my Chili Pepper tier patrons, Bill, Tony, Louise, Pam, and Michael. Thank you ever so much, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next one.